What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another ill episode of the Center Beacon. This week's episode deal with a pretty popular robot and two pretty popular loadouts. I'm going to talk a little bit about which one's better, if either, Plasma or Splash. You'll have to forgive me. I've been sick lately, so video frequency reduced. I've only just recently recovered the ability to speak. So, yeah, and if I can make it through this without coughing, don't call 911. Just if you hear me in a coughing fit, just roll me on my side, and I should recover momentarily. So, woke up this morning, real quick, a little bit of housekeeping here. Not real housekeeping, but like channel housekeeping. Woke up this morning, obviously, and 500 subscribers. So, thank you. Not a big deal to any of you. I know no one really cares. Probably won't be doing a 500 subscriber video because my Google analytics tell me that no one watches those. So, but it's a big deal to me. Appreciate it. And thank you very much. It means a lot to me. So, moving on. Let's see if I can fight through this Ebola that I'm suffering from. I've got my tea. My tea, I don't know if I can say it. It's a name brand. Might get sued. But basically, we're just going to walk through here. I'm going to show you a little bit of just how nice it is with Plasma. And then we're going to cover, how effective it can be with Splash. My general theory, when people ask me about stuff like this, I like Plasma for the random games, when you're not dropping against like a full clan. Plasma is kind of the extra 50 meters range and how quickly it reloads, very limited downtime. It just seems to me like it's just really effective. You're constantly firing. That thunder is constantly helping you out. Energy shields are no big deal. You don't have to worry about them like on that thunder, or I should say thunder carnage. The thunder carnages are, it's a nice squishy target. And if I'm running rockets or something else and I see that little blue line, I'm like, oh, great. I either got to get inside the thing or I got to wear that thing down first. Which, again, the Thunder does help a great deal with. Usually one or two shots with the Thunder will drop the energy shield for you. So if you can remember to just press like the button for your Thunder, get that shield out of your way before you dump the rockets into it. But I would say, I don't know, 60-70% of the time, Plasma is really nice. Especially for finishing guys off like this, it's like we're just gonna top those guys off a little bit and help them get to robot heaven. And you got range here, like you can see that Rhino up on the catwalk. I can already hit him. Obviously the other thing, the at least for me, I mean, some of you guys are like expert marksmen in this thing. I have big, huge thumbs. They cover a lot of the screen, so I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. But I find Plasma to be much more accurate. I feel like when I have my Plasma, I waste very little in the way of potential damage. I feel like when I run rockets, I waste quite a bit. You really kind of have to practice, tracking your targets, leading your targets, and kind of get that down, like where the cursor needs to be type thing, your reticle, so to speak, in a little hitbox deal there. Leading them, tracking them, letting them walk into it, so by the time the rockets get there, they're walking right into the midst of all those explosions. Here you can see I can actually get up under that guy's shield, because I'm hitting him in the legs or whatever. It's a different hitbox, so you're actually doing damage. I like the Plasma in that sense. Now, it's kind of a different story when you start running into clans, because when you face off with clans, obviously, there is a preponderance of physical shields, like this Rhino right here. Now he's getting taken out by somebody else, but when you go toe to toe with a physical shield like that, and if he doesn't have to drop, his shield, and he can wait for help, or he has magnums, or maybe your robot's damaged and he's already getting through like your own shield, then you're kind of on the short end of the stick, and I've got some clips that kind of demonstrate that coming up. So here we are on the short end of the stick, where many of us have spent our entire lives. We're going to come up against a Thunder Orkin Lancelot over there. and you can see, so there goes his first part of his salvo. He's a little off, but he corrects. And even by being off that little bit, the splash radius, the damage radius is enough that he really tears me up pretty good here. I keep unloading into him, but I mean, his shield's absorbing, the overwhelming majority of that damage, and there's not a lot we can do there. So, you just kind of, you can see pretty clearly in that clip, that Orkans versus Plasma obviously are going to have the advantage. Occasionally I've taken out, an Orkan Lance with my Plasma Lance, but usually he's damaged, or I get the opportunity to maneuver around him, or maybe he gets distracted or something. But really for high-level play, for clan play, you're going to want the Orkans. And if you look at a lot of guys who are really good at this, or ladies out there, but players who are really good at this, they're running a lot of splash. And again, that's not to say that you can't do Plasma. I do it, several other people do it, and it does have its place. But the Orkan, I mean, you're just going to be able to use this thing pretty much all the time. Like that Raging up there, even if he puts his shield up, doesn't matter. If you come up against a Rhino, he puts his shield up, it doesn't matter. With the Plasma now, like in a situation like this, I think, let's see, what is that little guy over there? It might be a Rhino and a Raging. But both of those guys, they've got the physical shield, and if they wanted to come right head on into me, and if I'm loaded up with my Plasma Lance, there's not a lot that I can do. I'm gonna dump a lot of damage into those shields, and maybe I weaken them for one of my buddies to finish off. But if they have rockets and I don't, or whatever the case is, you're at a disadvantage. So for high-level play, for clan play, I really recommend having the Orkans. They're expensive, they're expensive to level, but you kind of gotta have them. Here comes another Rhino. He's got that shield, but I've had a little bit to recharge. That's one of the kind of the detractors of this weapon is, once you've spent the magazine, you kind of got to give yourselves, a few seconds at least to kind of get another good volley in there to really deal that damage in a burst fashion. And usually that's taken up by maneuvering. You go around the corner or something, and you've had enough time to kind of recharge halfway or more. And, but when you do empty it, and it's single shot, that can be painful, but it's effective. Like in that last clip, you saw that guy, he was down a single shot too, but those single shots wore down the rest of my bot, and that was all she wrote. So, both have their places, and as such, I run both in my hangar at the same time. So that way, if you get taken out by, say, somebody who had a shield and you just ran your Plasma, well, you can go back to your hangar and jump in your Orkan and get right back to that guy, and you've got the advantage that time. But that's the thing I like about the Orkans, is that no matter who comes around the corner, no matter what they're driving, I know I'm going to be okay in this thing. Again, especially with the Thunder, if it's an energy shield of any type, that Thunder is going to knock it down in a couple of hits, and then the Orkans can clean up the rest. So, I mentioned maneuvering earlier, so this next part of the video, I'm going to go through and show you nothing, again, I'm not revealing any deep secrets of, the ancient kings here, but just things that I do, that I see other players do, a couple little maneuvers that have worked out pretty well for me in the past, and hopefully you can get something out of them, and just make you think a little bit more about like how we employ different special abilities, but particularly the special ability of the Lancelot. So we're going to look at that next. So we get a lot of complaints that the Lancelot is slow, he's ponderous. So I'm going to show you a little move I call the bunker. You got a faster bot, nice little lag spike there, he's able to take advantage of. But basically the bunker maneuver is you have a forward-facing shield. Put your back to a wall or a building and use that as a 360-degree shield. And these fast little bots that love to do the the little dance of death with you, where they circle you repeatedly And, you know, he wants to try to get in behind me or go around me, but he's still facing that shield the entire time. There's not a lot he can do there. And then eventually, you know, his stealth is going to break and you're going to take him out. So this is the bunker. We'll see it one more time here as if you didn't have it already. But, you know, a nice little trick here that you can do when you do get this guy coming around the corner and you're like, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to totally nullify your special ability, or I'm going to nullify your speed. And that's it. That is the bunker. And then you chase him around the corner and take him out. Okay, this move I call the sidestep. The sidestep, there's probably a cooler name for it, but a lot of people, they kind of use the Lancelot's rush ability like to get places faster. I use it like you would use the jump on a griffin or any of the jumping bots. I use the jump as a defensive maneuver rather than, you know, just like, hey, I need to get where I'm going quicker. So you can see here I'm coming in on this this Ragin, and all of a sudden here comes this Leo, and I don't know what he has, but I know I want to get out of the way just in case. So you can see like I do take some damage there, but I avoid a lot of those go right by me. I think those were like CRV pins or something, which there's only a few of those, and if you can manage to dodge those, you've missed most of that damage. So the sidestep is a pretty good little maneuver for you're not going to miss at all, you know what I mean, especially close range, especially depending on what type of you know, splash weapon it is. But, you know, in high level play, like absolutely every point of damage you can avoid, you know, that's you know, more seconds of life in the game. You know, I always tell guys, you know, I like big bots in this game because hit points, you know, equals life in the game. Life in the game equals, you know, a greater, you know, potential for dealing damage, which equals victory, you know. So if you can avoid even, you know, a measly couple of thousand points of damage and you're hanging on by a thread and you've got one weapon left, you might win the game. You don't know, you know. So here's another one where, you know, I know he's getting ready to fire and you can see pretty much everything goes right past me. You just got to kind of get the timing down and you're all set. And this one, last but not least, the Circle of Death. So the Circle of Death is incredibly rare, you know, often very difficult to capture on film, not unlike a Yeti. So this one I really had to dig through the Center Beacon archives, but you can see here what we want to do is we want to close with somebody quickly, and he's got that corner, that building protecting him on the other side, but we just want to get around him. We want to use the rush to get around him as quick as possible. And especially if he's kind of working his shield, you know, if it's a rhino and stuff, you know, he's going to get caught in that delay. And if we can work around him as quickly as possible, and that way, especially like in that situation, I had plasma. If you had Orkans, it wouldn't be quite as big a deal. But with plasma, it's a really nice maneuver. You get in there close, rush up to him, and get around the side and dig into those soft, meaty, tender underbits. So that's going to do it for this video. I've been promising a Lance video for a while, so here it is. I hope you guys got something out of it. And as always, thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you next time at the Center Beacon.